Glory be to God. It's November 27, 2023. This is a recap of the video that you're about to watch. In this video, I had to blur out some things because in the middle of me filming, the demonic spirit that was controlling my wife started flashing the camera, showing her breast, patting on her private, laughing. It's clearly not my wife. That's not who my wife is. That's not how she acts. When I watch these videos, since I know my wife, I could look at her face and know it's not her. Like, her eyes don't look the same. The anger coming out of her is not her. And in this video, my wife, what took place was we was still living with her mother, my mother-in-law, while we waited on a apartment to become available. But the apartment that we wanted, for some reason, I cannot remember, we could not get it. It had something to do with our deposit. Something that the enemy did using my wife to screw up our deposit. So we had to stay a little bit longer with her mother, right? To build up the cash to move. By this time, they had a sister apartment building that they end up calling us later on down the line, but we couldn't move at that time. During this time, we started house sitting for one of her friends that lived close in the area, which was fine with us because it just gave us a little bit more privacy instead of being at her mother's house. Okay? Now, if you watched the previous video, this is like within weeks apart. At this point of my spiritual warfare journey, it's like we was getting in a spiritual fight every 2 weeks. We could never go 2 weeks without a spiritual fight. But you're going to see a pattern. You're going to see a routine that takes place with the enemy the more and more you watch these videos. I did not want to release this video because, like I said, my wife was flashing herself. But it's not normal. That's not normal activity. It's not normal activity. But I figured out how to blur it out, that you cannot see anything, but you could hear her flash and you could hear her pat herself. Okay? And how did my wife get this angry? Well, she got this angry pretty much by, I got in an accident. Now, she had a Toyota Corolla 92. Toyota Corolla 92. And at the time, we had two cars, and I believe I had a Impala, right? At this time, I had an Impala. And I know this son. And I would drive the Toyota Corolla to work because my job was in Redlands, California, San Bernardino, borderline Redlands and San Bernardino, but we're living out in Whittier, California. So it was just less money to drive that car on gas than to drive the big engine that I had on the Impala, right? So on my way home, I'm going westbound, and at the time I'm getting off like around noon. I mean, not noon, around 2. So, and this is during the time of the year where it's really, the sun is at its highest peak, but during certain parts of the freeway, I could get blinded because of the sun. Now, I did have my visor down, and, you know, I'm squinting my eyes just to see. And I'm in the fast lane all the way to the left, and a truck had a one of those tool shed bins, you know, that be on some of these pickup trucks. It was in the middle of the carpool lane, right? And I don't see it until it's, you know, it ain't no cars in front of me that's warning me to get over, you know, something in the lane. So I don't see it. And if you know those tool chests that's connected onto these trucks, you know that they're steel and they're really big. If you know what a Toyota Corolla look like, especially one that's like a, did I say 92? I want to say a 2002 Toyota Corolla. You know that's a small car, right? Small compact car. But it's one of, I guess she had an emotional connection to this car, you know? But, you know, when we was talking that year, we was saying how we was going to get a newer car and we was going to end up selling the Toyota Corolla, right? That was our plan. We have a new baby coming around, you know, and at this time my wife is a couple months pregnant. So we already knew that we had to get a bigger car, right? So I'm on the freeway, I'm driving, I get a little blinded. I don't see the toolbox that's connected to the truck in the middle of the lane. So I got to swerve to not hit it head on, right? So I look in my right view mirror, and I see that I'm clear to get over. But once I check my blind spot, I notice it's the car in my blind spot, so I could not get over. I could just get over as little as I can right before I know I'm about to have impact with this toolbox, right? Storage. And I hit it, boom. It hits the side. So some type of accident. Hold on one second. I hit the side, I hit the toolbox storage, and it hits the driver's side of the door, right? Now, it could have been worse, but I was scared because I literally could have died on the freeway. But I did not know what the damages was until I got out the car. So I drive all the way to the house. I get out the car. It's a big old scratch, real big, like real deep, like at least 2 inches wide on the door, right? Big old scratch, indent, 2 inches wide. Me and my wife wasn't arguing. I come in the house. I tell her what happened. She goes outside. She looks at the car. And she comes in the house. And it's like, voila, here go the enemy. She gets to cursing at me. She ain't worried about how my health was and that I almost died. You know, I could have died. You know, she's worried. She's more concerned about the car that we was gonna sell anyway, right? And she goes berserk. She goes crazy. You know, to the point she pulls out a knife. She starts swinging it at me. She cuts me on my thumb. I had a deep cut on my thumb, which you will see in the video. And then, she locks herself in the bathroom. I'm scared. Don't know what she's doing in the bathroom. She's pregnant. Really don't know what she's doing. I'm scared, right? I'm asking her to open up the door. I'm asking her to come out. She finally comes out. The enemy's still using her. I go into the other bathroom. I wrench off my hand, put some alcohol on it, which burnt because it was a deep cut on the outside of my thumb. It was on the outside of my thumb, right by the bone, right? So I'm in the room, and when I'm in the room, I'm talking to her because she tells me, you never don't want to record what you're doing. And I ask her, well, tell me what I'm doing. Once again, you hear me say this phrase, tell me what am I doing to you? Because if you're in an argument, right, and we all done been in arguments, I don't care if you're being accused or whatever, right? Somebody should be able to tell you what you done did. But when I'm in a spiritual argument, the enemy can't never tell me what I done did because there's no truth in the enemy. So I haven't put my hands on her. I haven't, I'm not cursing at her, calling her names, calling her out her name, because I understand who I'm fighting against. It's funny. We did have a spiritual argument a couple days earlier when we had her son in the car. And she was arguing with me so tough in the car. I think I probably started crying because the enemy was trying to get a reaction out of me. She was saying anything to hurt me, talking about my kids, talking about my family, talking about me, talking about my past relationships, talking about calling me all types of disrespectful names. You got to remember, we're married. The enemy was trying to press my buttons, and I was refusing to go back and forth with her. This is the first time I believe I was refusing to go back and forth with her. And when the enemy seen that he could not tempt me to respond, she literally was back to herself right after. It was eerie. It was scary. I never witnessed nothing like this before with her. Normally she'll say something to me and I won't snap back, but I'll be asking her, that's not true. That's not true. Tell me the truth. Tell the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. Stand in your truth. Stand in your truth. That's not true. This is what it actually is. That's what the enemy wants you to do. He wants to build that energy that he's getting from you. He wants you to go back and forth and argue and disagree and everything else. But I wasn't doing that. And I believe she hit me a couple times, to the point I stopped the car because I believe I was driving. I stopped the car. No, she was driving. She was driving. All I could really do was turn myself towards the window and ignore her. And her son was in the car and he seen all this. And it hurt me that he was witnessing this up close, because the stuff that she was saying to me, he should have never heard. That was not even in his place. But like I said, the enemy, he don't care about who's looking, who's not looking. Especially when it's somebody's close. They want to embarrass you. They want to try to talk down to you. They will do whatever it takes to hurt you. Remember, I'm not fighting against flesh and blood. I'm fighting against the principalities that's controlling them. That's who I'm fighting against. And the enemy can't fight. He can't fight you like he wants to fight. Like you probably want to fight. Like, if I reacted the wrong way and put my hands on it now, I'm going to jail. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to go to jail. And if I go to jail, then that messes up a lot because of what we're planning. Baby on the way, need to get a new apartment, you know, traveling back and forth to work. If I go to jail, then it's a problem. She already done went to jail, came out. And I think that's what happened. When my wife went to jail, the money that we had to use for the apartment, we had to hold on to it now because she was unable to work her part-time job that she had already with the school, with her part-time job. My wife was working 2 jobs when I met her. It's not like she was working 2 jobs once we got married. No, she was always working 2 jobs because the school job wasn't paying enough for her to even make rent and her own apartment for. So anybody that comes in these comments that wants to say, oh, you're wrong because you should have been providing for your wife and everything, let's not go there. You don't know my situation 100%. You don't know what was going on. You don't know who I am. You don't know what she was doing prior before she met me and everything else. But I don't have no reason to lie. I don't have no reason to just put out these videos for no reason. These is all educational for people that's going through the same type of things that I'm going through, that I done witnessed, and they need some answers, because I was once one of those people that needed answers also, because I did not know what I was going through. I haven't seen it. I hear about it, I read about it when it comes to spiritual warfare, but I didn't have no actual proof, no actual video. So with that said, watch the video, learn from it, pay attention. If this is not your first time watching these videos, go back and watch the previous videos, see the routine, see the pattern. My wife is not crazy, y'all. My wife is not crazy. That's not my wife. I know my wife better than anybody else that's watching this video. I know my wife. You just got to be able to recognize the spiritual warfare behind it and know what spiritual warfare is. Until then, until the next video, I'm out. Love y'all. Coretta, let me wash my hands and let me get this blood off my hands, please. Coretta. Coretta. Why you had to go get a knife? Huh? Why? Coretta. Come here. Come here. Come here. You cut my thumb up?
I did.
But tell me what I did to you. Since I always do something to you that I don't record.
You gonna show him that too?
Yeah,
yep. His wife's pregnant. Make sure you show all that. Show all that. Make sure you show it all.